congratulate you, by the way. Ladies and gentlemen, there are shock waves that are going to move across this nation. Yeah. The 19th Congressional District is pivotal, and it's considered a toss-up. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't think it's a toss-up. We have an opportunity as a nation to restore sanity to the House of Representatives. And it can start right here. We have an incredible candidate. It gives me great honor and privilege to introduce to you a congressman that, by the way, will without doubt be the kind of representative that can represent us like the great Maurice Hinchey did. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have an opportunity to make tonight the beginning of something absolutely spectacular, not just for the 19th, but for the entire United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your next representative of the 19th Congressional District, someone who can change Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Zephyr Teachout.
Of power in Washington, D.C. This is a big win tonight, and I gotta tell you, it's a lot more fun to be on the winning side. So before I came out here, I got a very gracious call from Will Yandick. And I really want to thank him for running a smart and energetic, can work, how you can respectfully campaign. And most of all, I want to thank all of you in this room. You brought us to this moment. Thank you. Thank you for the door knocking. Thank you for the phone banking. Since January, you organized hundreds of one-on-one meetings from Callicoon and Cooperstown to Sand Lake and Saugerties. We talked about debts and dental services and veterans health care and music in schools and Lyme and heroin and flood mitigation and broadband and Verizon. We talked about Social Security and farm hubs and home health care, and we talked about the need for good quality jobs with benefits. And we talked a lot about how private financing of elections and super PACs corrupts our democracy. And during all this talking, you put about 18,000 miles on my car. But you know we weren't just talking, we were building. We were building this campaign together. We were building from anger to hope, from isolation to community. We were building a resilient, spirited, grounded, fighting force that is ready for anything John Faso throws our way. I thank you from the bottom of my heart, and now the real fight begins. All right. So this campaign is so important because we are facing a true crisis in our democracy and our economy. This is a once-in-a-generation crisis, maybe once in 100 years. Congress is frozen, it's gridlocked, it's corrupt, it's a mess. Government, federal government, is unresponsive to people, but very, very responsive to lobbyists. So I am running for Congress to represent you and break down the doors of power in Washington, D.C. Those are the doors that are keeping the citizens of America locked out. We can build an economy and democracy that works for all of us, not just the wealthy and well-connected. But to do that, we need people in Congress who are not for sale. We need people who don't scare easily. I've always felt free to speak my mind. I've never been a servant of big corporations or Wall Street. I've been fighting well-paid lobbyists on behalf of working families my entire life, and I will fight until we win for the people of the 19th Congressional District and for all the American people. When I was a young girl, growing up in a farming community just up the road in Vermont, I was taught to be honest and independent. My father taught me to have a healthy suspicion of slick salesmen, concentrated power. And my mother taught me to always listen with respect, always be respectful, but not to bow my head.
Right.
I learned that American democracy was special because it promised each person dignity and respect. Each person's life matters. Each person's voice matters equally. I believe in that promise. And the crisis we face today is not a crisis of American resources or American will. It's a failure of our leaders to avoid the temptations, the dangers that lobbyists and donors put in front of them. It's a failure of politicians and pundits who choose to shout instead of listen. That shouting drowns out our voices. So to move forward in America, we first need our democracy back. I believe in this country. I believe that the future of our country lies in our people, not in the lobbyists who seek to divide us for their own profit. You know who I believe in? I believe in Dennis Higgins. I don't think he's here tonight. Dennis is the father of 4 girls in Oneonta who has become an expert in water quality and pipe construction so that he can fight to protect his daughters and his land from eminent domain and from the health dangers associated with fracking.
That's right.
I believe in the small, extraordinary retailers like Lou Saperstein in Millerton that has kept Sapersteins at the heart of that community, even as big retailers try to push out those small retailers that are at the heart of our communities. I believe in the mid-scale farmers in Delaware and Sullivan that are standing up against big ag and asking, why, in the middle of this extraordinary, abundant farmland, children in our schools aren't drinking local milk and eating local beef. We've got an exciting future. Our future lies in the apple farmers of Ulster, in our fast-growing tech industries, in construction jobs in film and TV, in local processing plants, in local solar manufacturing for our roofs. So we've got some complex problem, but the resources are there, right? They're there. They're infinite if we choose to respect them, if we choose to understand and recognize them. So in the next few months, we'll be talking about a broad range of issues and the challenges that Congress must confront, but we'll also be talking about the choice that the voters will be facing in November. My opponent and I are very different. John Faso is an Albany assemblyman turned lobbyist. He is the ultimate insider. He benefited from the rigged system that has shut ordinary people out of politics, and when he gets to Washington, he's going to keep those doors closed, locked and double locked, and I'm going to break those doors down and bring every one of you into those closed chambers. And here's why you know that it's true. I stood with you against fossil fuel lobbyists, and together we protected our water and our land against fracking. And John Faso took money from fossil fuel companies as they tried to take your land by eminent domain for a fracked gas pipeline. I stood with you against Common Core, and together we started to roll back high-stakes testing. John Faso was silent during the opt-out movement, and when he was an Albany assemblyman, he was not known as a friend to public schools. I will be standing with you, fighting for equal pay. John Faso voted against equal pay 4 times when he was in the assembly. And I stood with you in this fundamental democratic fight against corruption in Albany while John Faso is a creature of Albany, steeped in the dysfunction that pervades both Albany and Congress. A choice doesn't get any more clear than that. As Teddy Roosevelt said, to destroy the invisible government, the unholy alliance between corrupt business and corrupt politics, that is the first task of the statesman. Or stateswoman. So, thank you. Let's come together to break down the locked doors of power. Let's listen with curiosity, agree with vigor, disagree with respect. Let's change the way we fund elections. We gotta overturn Citizens United, put in term limits, and bring people back into power. Renegotiate NAFTA and stop offshoring jobs. Let's bring manufacturing jobs back to America. Let's stop subsidizing big ag and start supporting local mid-sized farms. Let's stop too big to fail and start local lending. We gotta take the energy we have here and stop fracking across the country and triple down on solar and wind and microhydro. Let's stop Common Core and build our public schools. We can make our piece of America, our communities, our towns and farms better than they ever have been. We know what to do. We know how to do it. We can show the rest of America, show our fellow citizens, how to renew our nation. Woohoo! Yes. How to make it, once again, the country of democracy and dignity and discovery that it can be. So yes, America is in crisis. But that isn't a reason to bolt down the doors and pull down the blinds. This crisis, this very real and pressing democratic crisis, is an opportunity to renew our democracy, to renew our sense both of independence and of community. And it's an opportunity to renew, and this may be the most important, our sense of what each of us can achieve as we fight in ways we have never fought before. As we discover powers within ourselves that we never knew we possessed. Woo-hoo! So, you've honored me with your confidence. It's one of the most humbling days of my life. Also one of the happiest. Tomorrow we are going to continue on our march together, and we are going to win.